And earlier today, we saw black smoke from the chimney at the Sistine Chapel, meaning the 133 cardinals have yet to select a new pope. Pope Francis's successor will need 2/3 of the vote, and it took him 2 days to be elected back in 2013. Here's a fun fact for you. The longest conclave on record began in 1268. That's the year 1268, and lasted more than 1,000 days. Joining us now is columnist for the National Catholic Reporter, Michael Sean Winters. Michael Sean, great to see you. Thank you for joining us from where it's all happening, the center of the universe right now at the Vatican. I've been watching this coverage all day, I must admit, and it's fascinating because we can't really see much. I mean, voting is not on camera. Can you tell us what you've learned about what happened inside the conclave today?
Well, of course, as soon as they're sequestered, which happened this afternoon when the Master of Ceremonies said, extra omnes, everybody out, the doors were sealed, and so everything is behind closed doors. What we do know is the first ballot was going to be conducted tonight. It seemed to take longer than expected. We don't know if that was just that there were more electors, whether, as happened in 2015, 2 ballots had stuck together, and the rules require that if the number of actual ballots do not tally with the number of electors, you set them aside and go to another ballot immediately. So we don't really know why it took so long, but we know 1 ballot was completed and that it was not successful, as expected. I don't think we will be seeing white smoke until possibly tomorrow night.
All right, we are keeping an eye on that chimney. We've had a chimney cam all day, so we are awaiting those results. You know, this is a politics show, so I can't help but ask you, what does the politics look like in there between these cardinals during this conclave? I mean, they are picking the next leader of the Catholic Church. It's, you know, obviously a huge endeavor.
So the politics of the church is very different from, say, secular politics. There are different visions of what the church needs that are rooted in deep theological beliefs. And the church has always had this. In the Acts of the Apostles, you read about the first apostles debating on whether or not Gentiles had to be circumcised before becoming Christians. So there's always going to be some give and play, but it's not. There's no interests involved. It's not like an American political convention or something. Although the joke among the journalists has been there are 3 cardinals from Chicago in this conclave, and you know in Chicago the living vote early and often, and the dead vote twice. So that's been the joke making the rounds. But the politics is very different. They're human beings, so there's a political aspect to that. But again, the lack of actual interests, I think, changes. It's about conflicting visions.
And I just want to ask you quickly, you know, who are some of the people that we are kind of keeping an eye on in terms of the top candidates? And could any Americans be considered?
We don't really know. Last week, they had other secretive meetings in which everyone could get up and say what they thought the church needed, speak about a specific issue. So there are names going around. Cardinal Parolin, the Secretary of State to the late Pope Francis. The one American name that has gained some steam is Robert Prevost. He's been the Cardinal Prefect of the Dicastery for Bishops, which helps the Pope choose bishops throughout the world. And even though I think it's unlikely that there'd be an American, he has spent 2/3 of his life not in America. Most of his ministry has been in Peru or here in Rome. And so he's not really viewed as an American, although he does have a U.S. passport. But I think he's the only American whose name has really been in the mix. I still think it's unlikely that anyone with a U.S. passport will come out on that balcony.
Well, Michael Sean Winters, we are glad that you were watching it there for us in person, and we're all keeping an eye on that chimney to see what the news becomes. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.